This is 22-year-old Bubba Johnson. Usually confined to his room playing video games and eating, on this hot summer day he decided to cool off with a Slurpee at 7-Eleven. As he walks in with a slightly abducted gait, he has no idea that he will never walk out.
A disturbing scene here today at the 7-Eleven in Long Island City. What appears to be gang-related activity has resulted in a possibly fatal gunshot wound and recorded stab wounds. The victim is reported to be a 23-year-old male, and his involvement in gang activity is unknown at this time. More info coming soon.
Hi, Mrs. Johnson. I'm Dr. West. I'm here today to clear up any questions that you have regarding the condition of your son Bubba, who is now on a ventilator in the other room. So here I have his chart, and so as you know, he suffered a spinal cord injury to the C5 level. However, this was an incomplete spinal cord injury. So what he has is something called incomplete Brown-Séquard syndrome. Now this means that he has weakness and paralysis below the level of the spinal cord injury. So on the side of the injury, he is now paralyzed, and on the opposite side, he has a loss of feeling and some tingling. So this is commonly caused by a puncture wound, such as a gunshot wound like your son suffered from.
Okay, so someone with a C5 spinal cord injury, like what kind of movement will he have?
So it's going to be very hard for him. He's going to have trouble breathing because it affects his diaphragm. He's now on a ventilator, and he has been for some time. But he can move his shoulders and flex his biceps. He does have use of his deltoids, biceps, brachialis, and brachioradialis. Now, as you know, he's had asthma, and this is a chronic lung disease, so we're gonna have to, keep an eye on that. And he also has the severe scarring from his multiple stab wounds.
Dr. West, before you head off to the gym, do you mind if we just go over some of the precautions and contraindications for Bubba?
Sure.
Awesome. Okay, have a seat. So I just wanted to, go over some basic stuff. I'm sure you probably went over some of it with him, but he's got skin grafts that are healing. So I want to be mindful of those. And with his cardiac situation, mindful of his heart rate. And of course, he's got, a catheter and a colostomy bag that we want to be really careful with and kind of teach him how to maneuver with that. And I know the nurses know a lot about that. Watch his limbs that are not paralyzed. They're still very numb and tingling, so remind him, to make sure that he's moving as much as possible. Let's see. And we want to be careful of pressure points and sores. And again, the nurses will probably help him keep moving around to prevent that. And then just remind him, not to get any of the bandages wet. That's really important. Definitely contraindicated in his healing process, okay? So, Dr. West, do you have any questions for me regarding how you feel Bubba's doing, or how you're handling it with his mother?
So you think I didn't reveal enough to the mom? I kind of glossed over it too much?
I think that you might be, I think you're just more of an optimist. So I guess if I were to say what I really think the worst possible scenario for Bubba, is kind of dark. I think as far as his ADL limitations go, he's going to have a big problem if he even gets to go home. As we know, he lives in a second-story apartment with a kind of not dependable elevator in a housing project building, which is not real dependable. So the other big thing is that he's on a ventilator still, right? So hopefully we could get him off of that. In the case that we don't, it's really risky as far as infection. It's very easy for him to get sick and catch something if that ventilator's not properly cleaned.
We're gonna really need to look into his insurance.
Yes, exactly, and that's the other huge thing, is that pretty much none of this can happen as far as him going anywhere, or even just continuing on as he is, if we don't get his insurance taken care of. And then as far as assistive devices, he's going to have a walker. He's going to have to be able to get around his apartment if he can. via wheelchair, probably. I don't think he has the ability to get very far with the walker, as we've discussed. And transfers are going to be really difficult, and we can't forget that he is overweight, and that's really going to be, even if he wasn't overweight, it would be difficult enough to get him to transfer himself. I just don't see him transferring himself in the state that he's in right now, and it's hard to even get him to move to exercise at this point, obviously. So I think that we should be a little bit more realistic, mostly regarding insurance and the ventilator situation.
Okay, I'll let you tell all that to his mom.
Okay.
My name is Dr. Jones. I'm going to be helping you this afternoon. We're going to learn how to use your new one-arm drive walker, okay? Come around over here. Thanks, Lauren. Lauren's going to spot us on your other side. Okay, so what I want you to do is we're going to gently and slowly push the walker forward. That's fine. And I want you to then take a step with your left foot. Great. Okay, then I'm going to help you bring along the right foot. We're going to step into the walker. Go ahead and step your right foot in. Great, Daryl, you're doing really well. Let's do it again. We're going to move the walker forward. Great. We're going to bring our left foot, step it in. And now bring in the right foot. I'll help you guide that. Great. All right. Are you all right? I hear you taking some deep breaths. Maybe you want to take a rest. Okay, we'll help you get back to your seat, okay? Our patient has several barriers to treatment. The fact that his Medicaid is pending is a big one. However, we would like to focus on another barrier, and that is our patient's sedentary lifestyle. Combined with the fact that he is moderately obese and does not engage in any sports or physical activities, this is a serious health issue. According to a study in the World Journal of Orthopedics, reduction in the level of physical activity after spinal cord injury is a life-threatening condition. Recreational activities, as well as rehabilitation strategies that help reverse this pattern of physical inactivity, are highly recommended after spinal cord injury. We need to get our patient moving as soon as possible, and we need to help him understand the importance of changing his lifestyle. He can't just sit home and play video games anymore. The prevalence of cardiovascular diseases, type 2 diabetes, and amputation exceeds 200%, 50%, and 30% in persons with spinal cord injury. We should look to his community's resources, the YMCA or other inexpensive or free programs that would motivate him to stay mobile. We should also enlist his mother's support and educate her on the importance of exercise in her son's recovery. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dr. Hemi Walker. I'm Bubba's case manager, and I would like to discuss with you some of the things that your family may need once Bubba goes home, alright? First thing Bubba might need will be 24-hour nurse care, some PT and OT for his fine movement, psychiatrist for maybe for his depression or anxiety due to the injury, respiratory therapist. All right. Now, with this type of injury, recovery will take time. Now, it's important to stay positive. Some of the things that you and Bubba can do is join websites such as NAMI and AADA, right? These sites will allow you to find other people that sustain similar injuries and maybe connect and share stories.
That's great.
Yes, and this will help with Bubba's depression, if any. As far as your financial situations, I know the circumstances may be dire because you guys do live in a housing project, and it is important to spend time and attention to and address Bubba's injuries. Now you may be able to apply in a government agency and see if they allow you to take care of Bubba while being reimbursed for this time.
Okay.
Hi there, I'm Lauren Lofstrand from New York One News, and we have some updates for you involving the 7-Eleven shooting. We've learned that the victim is 23-year-old fast food worker and video game enthusiast Bartholomew Johnson of the South Bronx, better known to his friends and family as Bubba. He is currently in the ICU at Mount Sinai being treated for a spinal cord injury. Our sources tell us that his mother is looking to press legal charges and seek legal counsel and justice for Bubba. The family has started a GoFundMe page to supplement their limited income. I'm Lauren, reporting from New York 1 Live at the 7-Eleven in Long Island City. Ambulate safely. Back to you, John.